In this section, we'll be studying and understanding about the global trade environment. This means that we'll be reviewing different global trade systems and how trading alliances between countries and global trade organizations can act to influence the international economy.
Global trade is directly influenced by regional trading alliances and global trade mechanisms that work together as the two main forces that form the shape of the international monetary and economic system. With the introduction of globalization, the global monetary system have changed from being country to country based only to actually involve all different types of organizations. Nowadays, we have two forces that in the last few years have acquired more and more influence in the international scenario, and they are regional trading alliances and global trade mechanisms, and we'll be discussing both of them on the next following slides.
Regional trading alliances are treaties between countries that occur to establish both internal and external trade practices that aim economic growth for the countries participating. In total, more than 200 countries around the globe participate in at least one trade agreement. The US itself, for example, is part of 75 different ones. Some of the main regional trading alliances are NAFTA, which is the abbreviation for North America Free Trade Agreement, signed by Mexico, Canada, and the US in 1992. NAFTA is the second largest trade alliance in the planet in terms of GDP. It serves to facilitate the free trade between these three countries, eliminating barriers like tariffs, import licensing requirements, and customs user fees. We also have the European Union, or EU, that holds 28 European participants and other 5 candidates to join. EU works to standardize some economical aspects of Europe, removing barriers like travel restrictions, trade and investment limitations, and employment laws. Another powerful treaty is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN for short, that holds 10 Asian nations as members. Combined, these 10 countries have more than $2.4 trillion in GDP and 625 million in population. Global trade mechanisms exist to regulate trade between different countries, help maintaining efficiency and effectiveness of global commerce. Major examples of these global trade mechanisms are the World Trade Organization, or WTO, which is composed by 161 countries and 24 so-called observers, potential members per se. WTO deals with rules of trade between nations. It monitors, incentivizes, and organizes global trade. It serves as an international and independent organization that can act to resolve trade conflicts between nations. Another important mechanism is the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, to which 188 countries are part of. The IMF works to promote international economic cooperation and oversees the stability of the global monetary system, providing temporary loans and assisting the economy of different nations. The IMF is often confused with the World Bank Group, which is a group of 5 institutions that provide assistance to middle income and low income nations. Last but not least, we have the OECD, the Organization for European Economic Cooperation, that was created in 1947 during the Marshall Plan with the goal to help in the reconstruction of Europe after World War II. Nowadays, its main mission is to help the 34 participating countries reach sustainable economic growth and a reasonable employment level. Thank you for listening. To finish this presentation, we want to leave you with a question. How can the work of regional trade alliances and global trade mechanisms influence companies with international presence?